YouTube, how the duck you doing? Duck Films here. What I got for you today is what I believe needs to be added to patch 2.6 for the finals. Quickly, before the video starts, I want to ask if you're new here and haven't already, please do me a great favor and hit that like and subscribe button as it's completely free and it greatly helps me out. But anyways, thanks for watching anyways, and I hope you enjoy the video. And lastly, I want to say that this video is all from my opinion or perspective about the finals. Now, if some of you don't know already, the finals 2.6 patch or the mid-season patch is just around the corner. Now, some of you in my comments below have been asking, hey Duck, what do you think should be added to patch 2.6 for the finals? Although my wishlist ideas might be very broad, I'm hoping that some type of change could be implemented by this measure. Now, the first item on my list, just like probably many other creators or players in general, is that I would like to see some type of shift in the meta or just a complete change in general. Now, there's a lot of things that fit in this meta change that I wish for. To quickly sum it up of what I would like to see changed is that for the light class, I would like to see some type of nerf either to the LH1 or the XP54, or perhaps even both of the weapons. I would like to see more options available for players that play ranked or even casually, as by now we all know that the LH1 and the XP54 are super dominant in the finals. And staying on the topic of the light class, in terms of gadgets that we see for the light, no matter what type of playstyle you're using for the light class, you're primarily only using the stun gun and glitch grenade. Now, from patch 2.6, I'm hoping we see a change from the stun gun and glitch grenade, not necessarily nerfing those gadgets, but hopefully seeing a change that other gadgets can be just as good as those two gadgets. Now, I'm not saying that the other light gadgets are completely terrible or useless. They're all still very useful in their own regard. However, the stun gun and glitch grenade are just too useful not to use. Now, again, I am asking for a lot, but hopefully they can tweak it throughout the game development. But when we look at the light class specializations, most players only really care about two specials, that being both the evasive dash and cloaking device. Now, I really want there to be an option to where the grapple can be useful. Now, don't get me wrong, the grapple hook can be useful with the LH1 and sniper at range, but out of the three options, it's still not the best pick over the other two. So for patch 2.6, I would like to see them either address the grapple hook by talking about it, what they plan to do, or maybe actually just changing it in general. Now, another factor of this meta change that I'm hoping for in patch 2.6 is the medium class. The medium class has been super dominant since the game's release. I'm hoping that this patch 2.6, really addresses the issue of the medium class so that there's more viable options or other options in general to use on the medium class. Now, my wish for the medium class is that we're able to play other guns besides the FCAR, the ability to use other specials besides just the healing beam, and perhaps even using other gadgets besides the defib. Now, in terms of the weapons of the medium class, one of my wishes in terms of the FCAR is that they reduce the amount of damage it does, or perhaps even lowering the ammo count in general. As well as I would like to see that the other weapons get some more limelight. Instead of just constantly changing the recoil pattern of the FAMAS, I would love to see a buff that increases the amount of damage it does. However, some people might say, hey Duck, the FAMAS feels perfectly fine. The recoil is very nice, and I believe it does enough damage as it's a burst weapon. However, when you put a FAMAS in an FCAR in a 1v1, typically the FCAR will come out on top. How I see it, when you add a new weapon to the game, I want a reason to play those new weapons. If there's weapons such as the FCAR and LH1 still being dominant over the weapons you just add, there's pretty much no reason to use the new weapons at all. I'd rather see for new weapons that are getting introduced being completely overpowered rather than underpowered. From those weapons being overpowered, hopefully they can help change the meta much more. Now, when it comes to the specials for the medium class, you're primarily only looking at the healing beam. Now, in terms of my wish for the medium specials, my wish is that they address the issue that the healing beam is pretty strong and that it definitely needs to be looked over. Whatever change they may do is completely up to them, but I personally would like to see some type of change. I also talk about these class changes in my last video, the current state of the finals meta. Now, when it comes to the medium gadgets, there's two gadgets that always come to mind when we look at what the medium uses. One being the jump pad, as is just good in general and it helps your team get around, and one specific gadget, the defib. Now, there's been lots of changes in balancing of the defibs, which I'm completely glad they did. But we all know, since it's such an iconic gadget, when you're playing the medium class, everyone pretty much must run it. Now, I would like to see some type of change that where you can have the option of using other gadgets that could easily replace the defibs or to be able to switch it in and out, whether that being a new gadget in general or just a rework of the defibs. Now, moving on to my wish list for the heavy class, just like my light and medium wish list, we're going to start off with my wish list of the weapons. Now when it comes to the weapons of the heavy class, just like my last video, there's two primary weapons that you'll be looking at, the SA-1216 or the heavy shotgun and the Lewis gun. Now when it comes to the Lewis gun for the heavy class, now I previously stated that I feel like the nerf to the recoil of the Lewis gun was unjust, and as I'm a man of my words, I'll stick to that. I wouldn't mind seeing the revert of the recoil nerf, but on the flip side I can definitely see why other players like that nerf. As if you weren't dying to the SA-1216 or heavy shotgun, you were definitely dying to a Lewis gun previously. Now in patch 2.6, I wouldn't mind them saying anything about the Lewis gun, but one wish I might have is that since they changed the recoil, I wouldn't mind a buff for the damage, but that's just me. However, when it comes to the heavy shotgun or the SA-1216, I want to quickly say that I understand why the heavy shotgun should be strong, because quite frankly, it is a shotgun and should do the most damage up close, but it shouldn't have terrorized the finals for so long. So I'm glad they nerfed it, but I still would like to see another nerf of the heavy shotgun. I either would like to see a damage decrease or a rate of fire change again. Now, I think if you do both of the nerfs, it would completely remove the shotgun from the game, essentially. However, I think if you do one of the nerfs, it still puts the shotgun in a decent spot, but it gives you the option to use other weapons as the shotgun won't be completely overpowered anymore. Now, when it comes to the specials of the heavy, there's only one special you really look at, and that is the mesh shield. And yes, I know they changed it to 750 HP, but I feel to really nerf the mesh shield, just like my last video, I think they should change the speed of which you can pop the mesh and close it, thus removing that super easy gap close with the mesh shield in general. Now when it comes to the heavy's gadgets, we always see one primary gadget always used no matter how you play the class, and that is the dome shield. Now the dome shield has been nerfed quite a lot, and they were all well-deserved nerfs. However, as you already have the mesh shield, the dome shield, and the barricade, I believe with all those things, one should be nerfed, and I think it's the dome shield, unfortunately, again. I just feel like something needs to be done so that you have options to play other gadgets. Now, I'm not saying that this specific gadget is the only gadget you should be looking at to use. However, I feel like it's been in the meta for too long and should be changed to let other gadgets shine. Now, that pretty much sums up my wish list for the classes topic. My next part of my wish list is things that could be changed but could definitely take a while. I'm not saying that they need to be done for patch 2.6, but I would just like to see them addressed. Now, as I snipe in a lot of games, I feel that the CL40 or the sniper for the light class in the finals definitely feels a little weird. I'll be honest, sometimes there's a person standing still right in front of me and I'm also standing still. I aim and shoot and it misses. Now when it comes to the hit registration or the bullet registration for the sniper for the light class, it's definitely a little off, and I really wish they would fix this to allow sniping to be a little more useful in the game. But that change could just be a general server issue, so that might take a little time to work on. That server registration issue definitely reflects itself back onto the dagger, as there's many times that I believe and my viewers believe that some of the backstab should have definitely been kills. However, for some reason it misses or it just gives me a hit marker. Now again, this might be another server issue or netcode issue, which I hope they try to address or even change for patch 2.6. Now, I still have hope and potential for this game. I understand that the dev team is on the smaller side, but there's times where there's issues that are not really fixed. Now, I know one patch a week is really good for a smaller team, but I would like to see them address bigger issues besides just tweaking security issues and other issues in the game. Now, my next wish is to change the time it takes per season. In my eyes, 90 days is a little too long. For example, if you reach diamond and earn that diamond weapon, you have to wait 90 days to equip it. In my eyes, at that point, you pretty much have forgotten about that weapon skin. Now, I understand that you could use all of that time to unlock all of the battle pass and so on, but there's definitely a point where these types of things definitely need to speed up. Then lastly, my next wish is for the MMR or the ranked system. Although they have added to where you can get placed with other players at the same skill level, which is always very nice. As Season 1, you could be top 100 like myself, going against people that just installed the game. I never really understood that, but I'm glad they changed it in Season 2. But with the Season 2, there wasn't really an understanding of how close you were to ranking up or deranking. Then they finally added the ability to see how many arrows or games or rounds it takes to rank up, but even with those indications at the end of the game, it still never really gave you a good idea how close you were to ranking up. As people have told me that they won their game, got all 3 arrows and still didn't rank up, arrow system that they have added. Now, I would like to see them keep the same skill-based matchmaking, quote unquote, but just remove this arrow system that they added or whatever, and go back to their old FP system. With that, you were really able to tell how close you were to ranking up and deranking. Although this arrow system, or whatever you want to call it, was definitely new and unique, in terms of a player's perspective, it was definitely more confusing to use the arrow system than it was to use the FP system. To this day, I still get people in my chat or in my comments asking, how do you actually rank up or derank in this game? And my simple answer to this question is, I have no idea how it works. Now, people could say, oh, you just need to get the 3 arrows and you rank up. However, I have done this and many of other players have gotten all 3 arrows and never ranked up. And that was my last wish, to try to fix the matchmaking again. Now, again, this was all in my opinion, but let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And again, if you're new here and haven't already, why not hit that like and subscribe button, as it greatly helps me out. But anyways, I hope you have a great day and I'll catch you in the next one.